Okay, Paul, I've had a look at your draft. What I've done is I've tended to highlight editing or confusion of ideas in yellow and spelling mistakes or grammar or word choice in red. So to start with, your essay title doesn't really make sense. Comparing Crossways of Film, it's not a film, by the way, it's the novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald and The Wolf of Wall Street, Martin Scorsese, explore the corrupted American dream through society's obsession with wealth and materialism. Just leave it as explore the corruption of the American dream, because society's obsession with wealth and materialism is how you're expanding on that in your essay. So your introduction is okay. Now you've spelt Scorsese right here, but you start spelling it incorrectly throughout the rest of your main body paragraph. That is for you to now check and correct. Both display a range of themes. Now, Paul, we've been discussing all semester how we are looking at one theme and that theme development over the course of the text. So your essay question is not about the range of themes, it's about the idea of the corruption of the American dream. That is the theme that you are addressing or exploring. That are portrayed to the audience through the use of smart film and narrative techniques. Again, you don't need that. You're going into that in your main body paragraphs, which ultimately explore how society is stratified and divided through the obsession of wealth and class. That's a fragment sentence. It doesn't make sense. So you need to tidy that up. Now, stratified means divided, so you don't need to keep saying stratified and divided. Again, you will need to tidy that up throughout. The effective use of these techniques position the audience to a further engagement to the novel and film. Now, throughout the semester again, Paul, we've been discussing how authors and creators of text use techniques to allow their audience to engage more deeply with their central ideas. So this needs to be tidied up. It's not to the novel and film, it's to the central idea that they're trying to position us to think more deeply about the causes and effects of the corruption of the American dream in two very different eras. So you do need to make sure, as I've said now repeatedly, that you show understanding of setting and context in your introduction. Okay, main body paragraph 1. Your topic sentence is fine. Now, then you start getting a bit wordy and your expression is a bit confusing. Fitzgerald and Scorsese create the core theme for their stories by highlighting the corrupting element in materialism. Now, what do you mean here? I think what you're saying is further expand their core idea of the corruption of the American dream by highlighting, what did you say? How society's obsession with materialism has overtaken hard work and determination. Have a think about it. Now, though is not one of the comparative conjunctions that I put on sector, so choose a better one. Scorsese reveals the pursuit of materialism and wealth through Jordan Belfort's indulgences as well as his disregard for the consequences of his means to accumulate wealth. What do you mean the consequences of his means? His disregard, I'm not sure what you mean there. Scorsese reveals that it is the pursuit of materialism and wealth. So through his character of Jordan Belfort, but remember, Jordan Belfort's a real person. You need to show that in your introduction. Scorsese uses the central character, Jordan Belfort's indulgences, to what? To highlight his greed. You sort of go on to say that. The year I turned 26, head of my brokerage firm, I made 49, which really pissed me off because it was 3 shy of a million. Now, does this show that money is like an addictive drug? Because other students have used a quotation from him where he actually says that it is like a drug. Please don't use you in formal essays. You keep on wanting more and more of it until it is all gone. I don't think that quote really shows that. But I do think you're right here where you say the audience, not the reader, is promptly introduced to Belfort's greed and love for money, which has overtaken the dream of a better life. What do you mean a better life here? Like, is he equates money and what it buys with the American dream, as opposed to it being determination and hard work to bring you happiness. So just tidy that up. You need to put in comparative conjunction here. Is it similarly? Is it in contrast? Or is it similarly? Similarly, Fitzgerald reveals that the American dream is no longer about achievement, but achieving great wealth. Now, is it through the eyes of Daisy? That's not the narrative perspective. It's through the character of Daisy. But what I wanted to say, when you talk about Belfort, you need to show that when he talks to the camera, that what technique is that? It's characterization, but it's mise en scène. He's been directed to talk directly to the camera. So you need to just show your understanding of those techniques through the character of Daisy. Now, however, well, decide what you're saying. Is it similarly or is it different? So you've got to continue this. So does Daisy choose wealth over happiness as well? So that would be similar to Belfort. His greed and love for money supersedes any moral compass. This describes to the audience how she would rather be with a source of revenue. Don't put things in capital in brackets because source of revenue, but then with someone she loves. Yes, okay. So how she prizes money and privilege over happiness and love. Furthermore, the audience understands Daisy and Belfort are very different but alike in the sense that Belfort... So it's not the audience, because the audience isn't doing this. You are showing your analysis by saying how through Daisy and Belfort, I think you're repeating yourself here. I think you've made your point. So through comparing Daisy Buchanan and Jordan Belfort's greed and materialism, it would be clear to say that for both authors, when society becomes obsessed with wealth and materialism, the result is greed overtakes the original ideals of the American dream. Do you see how that actually sums up the progression of your thematic development? Okay, so you need to go and fix that up, Paul, and you need to use this feedback so that your next main body paragraph is really well structured.